Hey guys, Krootman here, and in today's video I want to talk about something that's been on the back of my mind for a little while now, and that's the future of GPU mining and why I'm honestly pretty worried about it, after a quick word from today's video sponsor. This video is brought to you by Crypto Miner Bros, your one-stop shop for all of your ASIC mining needs. Whether you are looking for 1 to 2 small ASICs to heat your home or to fill up an entire industrial container full of ASICs, Crypto Miner Bros has you covered. Their prices are all in, shipped to your door, so there will be no hidden or unexpected fees, and they have all major manufacturers and all major kind of miners. If you are looking for something new, I would personally recommend picking up SCRYPT miners now before the new year and before prices go up, because frankly prices are only going to be going up right now and they won't be going down. So don't miss out. Get everything before it's super expensive. And remember, use code Krootman with 2 zeros, KR00TMAN, for $70 off your next order. And thank you very much to Crypto Miner Bros for sponsoring this video. So I know we're at the point where we should be super positive. The bull market is coming. You know, we're seeing a lot of signs that this is basically the same as 2020 minus ETH, which is all great things. Bitcoin's cracked 100K. And this video honestly has nothing to do with the recent price tips. I literally didn't even notice half of them. You should just look at it as a chance to buy in cheap again, and you get more yield on the coins you're mining. And I honestly didn't even notice half of them as I'm getting ready for CES, prepping for the holidays to make it magical for my kids, working on some massive announcements regarding the future of my channel. All good things, by the way. I'm not going anywhere. But I am seeing some worrying trends that have me seriously concerned about the future of GPU mining and its viability long term, and I wanted to talk about them in today's video. So the first issue is definitely not unique to me, but right now it's at the forefront of my mind as it could potentially be, and I certainly hope it's not going to be, an issue for me, and that is residential power rates. So first, I want to share with you my own experience. In Pennsylvania, there's two parts of your power bill: your supply charge and your delivery charge. You can shop your supply charge, but not your delivery. So right now, my all-in rate is about 12.9 cents kilowatt hour. But in about 4 days, my current supplier contract runs out, and I basically have two options. I can either swap back to my normal service provider, and for the purpose of this video, we'll assume it's Duquesne Light, as you can see here. Or I can shop around to try to attempt to find a better deal. And as you can see, a lot of these suppliers are a lot cheaper than what my base supply would be. But the catch is, a lot of times when these initial contracts run out, the rate doubles or triples. So I have to make sure that I get kicked off of this current supplier contract I'm on. Well, kicked off or canceled, basically how you look at it, and put back on my default supplier so that my rate doesn't go through the roof. And in the meantime, I have to make sure that I get onto a new supplier. So for example, if I were to use this one called SFE, I would have to sign up for it online. I would have to make sure it switches over so that I don't basically have a portion of the next month where I'm on a rate that's way higher than I expect. So unless I can confirm that I properly have switched over, which I've already applied to do my switch, I did it last week, I have to essentially mothball my shed for a few days or weeks until I can make sure that I'm switched over to a lower rate. So I'm not mining at basically, 18 or 19 cents kilowatt hour, which would be non-viable. Does that all sound exhausting to you? Because it really legitimately is. And at the current rate I'm going to have to do this swap every 4 to 6 months, depending on how long some of these contracts go. As you can see, some are 6 months, some are 3 months, some of them are even only just a month. And generally, at least in the past year, rates have only just gone up, which, as I've already stated, is pretty exhausting. Which leads me to my next point, and that's residential power cost. If you look at this website right here, which is basically the government, where the government compiles all of the average kilowatt hour cost all over the United States and then compiles the national average, you can see right here, the national average is basically 17 cents kilowatt hour. And I can really only speak for the US as that's where I live and that's where I understand the power cost, but everything just keeps going up. And 17 cents is the national average. So at the current national average, let's look at hashrate.no and ASIC miner value to see what profitability looks like. Now, obviously, I understand that the market is down, and I understand that ASIC miner value and hashrate.no have holes in their price, in their profitability numbers, and you really should just do your own research. But for the sake of this generalized video, let's just look at their numbers and use those. If you look right now, as of the time of this filming, the only thing that's really profitable is basically the 40 series and the 170HX at 17 cents kilowatt hour. If you look, profitability basically dies when you get to anything that's not the latest and the greatest. All you see right here, all of this is negative. So let's go to ASICs, right? Basically, any major, let's see where we get to the home ASICs, because right now we're at like crazy expensive ones. Okay, so we've got the AL Max at $2.19 a day, the DG Home 1 at $2.63 a day, the X16Q at $1.50, the Gold Shell DG1M at $1.42. I actually own both of these ASICs. So as you can see, there's not much room for profitability at 17 cents kilowatt hour. So it's these numbers are not good. And I know you guys are going to say, Kroot, we're about to hit the bull run. Prices are about to go through the roof. Everything's going to get better. And I hope you're right. And I do believe that is the case. But look at these numbers, guys. Basically, unless you have the best of the best GPU-wise, and this is one of the reasons that I sold all of my 30 series and went all into 170HXs, which at 17 cents kilowatt hour are literally only making 15 cents a day. The ceiling for GPU mining profitably right now and over the last year or two has been way lower than it's ever been. Essentially, I think that like 13 or 14 cents, maybe 15 cents if you're really stretching it, is basically the limit of profitability. So this actually brings me to my next point. And people will say, Kroot, just go host your GPUs. Host them at somewhere with 8 or 9 cents kilowatt hours and you're golden. And my response is, okay, assuming you want to host, and there's a lot of pros and cons about hosting, and I'm not here to talk about those. That's not the point of today's video. My response to you is, where are you going to host? All of the largest hosting providers, the largest and most reliable ones that I know of, Meter Mining, Terra Hosting, BitCap, none of them are taking GPUs anymore, and rightfully so. Why would you take GPUs when they make pennies on the dollar compared to ASICs, and they require so much more work to keep updated, to fix them if they go down? The profits are just not there for hosting companies to host their ASICs. And I can't blame them. So we can't even have that debate of you should go host them because there's nowhere for us GPU miners to put them. So basically, if you have a terrible power rate, where are you going to put your GPUs right now? You don't even have the option to host them. All right, so say you don't need to host, right? Say you have a viable power rate of 8 to 13 cents. Are you going to build the infrastructure necessary to make GPU mining viable at any kind of scale? I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth the risk right now. Building a shed and pumping it full of power is not cheap. And you have to even see if you can legally do it where you live. It's, I can tell you from my experience that it's not the easiest thing in the world to pull off. And even if you do pull it off right, do you have the guaranteed windfall of profitability coming your way? Not really. When I built my shed, I had ETH that I knew was going to carry me. And I basically paid for 75% of my shed with ETH mining. And then the rest of it was carried by KASPA, by Nexa, by some stuff that nobody really expected from the last bear market, which was honestly way more profitable than anybody will admit. So I just, I have a hard time recommending building a shed. So then what's your next option, right? Say you don't want to build a shed. Are you just going to replace are you just going to add a single 30 amp 240 volt in your garage? Okay, you could do that. So then what's next? You're going to add 2 And then what's going to happen after that? Are you going to get to the point where you have 2 or 3 rigs and then you're going to have to figure out ventilation? If you want to see someone who's going through that right now, go check out Modern Mining. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel and you can watch his mining adventure right now. But I think he's getting to the point where he's got to figure out, do I stop and stay where I'm at? Or do I look to build a shed? Do I move outside? That's something that a lot of miners have to figure out whether it's worth doing or not. And I honestly don't think it's worth doing. So then you lose the ability to scale. And, you know, when you lose the ability to scale, you're basically stuck, which means you then have to either decide, am I just going to stay here and watch my profits go up and then go down? Or do I have to upgrade my rigs to the latest and greatest thing? It's not easy to do, guys. And all of that costs a lot of money. And is it worth the money? Finally, and I know this could change, but the first half of the GPU money-making machine is dead. We have one core algorithm, and right now it's pretty profitable, and that's a Leo. And that's it, guys. And basically that's going to ASIC soon. We don't know when, but it's definitely happening soon. And once a Leo's gone, there's nothing left, guys. You know, from all the major GPU core coins, from Lithium, KASPA, Radiant, going to ASICs after getting crushed by the 2 coins like Pyrum and all the Pyrum forks essentially rugging and getting, you know, shot out of existence, to the fact that we now have the entity that whenever there is a decent coin that goes to core algorithms, the entity just scoops it up and basically kills it. So core algorithm mining is for the most part dead. Now, again, Lithium seems to be an exception to that rule, but Lithium is weird. You know, it has some serious investor money in it, and, you know, it was basically going to go ASIC. And the window to mine it on GPUs has basically just been a few months. So this is definitely an exception and not the norm. And again, this could change, but right now I really don't think it is. I really basically think all we have to carry us through this next bull run is going to be memory algorithms, because the bull run is coming soon, and I don't know if there's going to be any time to get a viable core coin launched by then. Okay, guys, I know this video is semi-depressing, and I know I've been a GPU miner for, oh my goodness, about 4 years now. Actually, about 4 years to basically the week now. But I am really excited for this bull run. As you guys can see from these pictures, I've been building GPU rigs for quite a while, and I really do feel like GPU mining is not dead, but it is at a crossroads. I think it's going to get a lot more centralized. And I think for home miners to stay in this space, you're going to have to do a ton of work. You're going to have to constantly upgrade your farms, and you're going to have to stay ahead of the curve. I don't think you're going to be able to get away with using older machines and older GPUs unless you have a really good power rate. And that seems to be increasingly rare in the US and basically in the rest of the world as well. Now, there's definitely paths forward, but you guys are going to have to do a lot more planning and a lot more managing. Passive income is dead, guys. It's dead. And I think we're going to have to get creative and maybe look at other avenues to make GPUs profitable. And it may not be mining, but look, hopefully I'm wrong. So again, GPU mining is not dead. It's not. And I think the next few months are going to be a renaissance per se. But there are warning signs out there, guys, and make sure you don't miss them. And if you're a new miner coming into this space, make sure you watch videos like this to know what you're getting yourself into. Because the last thing I want to see is people to jump into this space at the height of the next bull run and get wrecked even harder than people who got wrecked during the ETH run. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I really appreciate you watching, and I can't wait to share with you guys what I'm doing in my crypto mining journey and where I'm going in the next few months. We've got a lot of great announcements coming up, so stay tuned, and I can't wait to share them all with you. Peace out, guys. Take this warning. Be vigilant, but don't be scared. But then again, be vigilant. If you want to get out, I think now or in a few weeks, maybe a few months, is the time to sell your hardware. So keep that in mind. All right, guys. Peace out and see you on the next one.